Cafeteria. The doorbell rings. You open the door to find Kimberly standing there with a bag of groceries. Auntie, I wasn't expecting you today. Isn't your flight scheduled for the day after tomorrow? You turn sideways to let Kimberly into your apartment. She makes a beeline for the kitchen counter where she sets the groceries down before exhaling softly.
수도 쪽 회의 시간이 바뀌어서 미리 은우 생일 축하해주려고 비행기표를 바꿨어. 아 참, 은우는 집에 없니?
Yes, he's out for a meeting with a client, but he should be on the way home now. Kimberly nods. While chatting, she sets out the groceries one by one. You walk over and start helping her sort them out. Did you come straight here after your flight landed? Do you want to rest for a bit first?
괜찮아. 요즘 일정이 바빠서 지금 안 해놓으면.
Kimberly trails off as her brows draw together. Although she has informed Artem and you over the phone that she will be freeing up her schedule for the next few days to drop in on the two of you, judging from her reaction, something must have cropped up. Deciding not to press any further, you take the ingredients from Kimberly and start to rinse them in the kitchen sink. Shall we make Artem some longevity noodles while he's still out? I'm sure he'll be pleasantly surprised.
그래.
Just as you and Kimberly set the bowl of noodles on the table, you hear noise coming from the entrance hallway. Artem, who has switched his shoes out from room slippers, walks into the dining room. When he sees Kimberly, surprise flashes across his features.
어머니, 둘이 지금
His gaze flits across the dining table and he quickly puts two and two together. Kimberly beckons him over.
어서 옷 갈아입고 와서 먹으렴.
네,
A short while later, Artem, now in loungewear, takes a seat across Kimberly. With the steaming bowl of noodles in front of him, Artem tries a spoonful of soup. You watch him expectantly, eager to know how he finds it. Meanwhile, Kimberly's gaze shifts between the two of you.
우리가 같이 끓인 미역국인데 어떠니?
어쩐지 맛이 전이랑 조금 다르더라고요. 그래도 맛있어요.
You could tell. I might have accidentally gone a bit heavy on the pepper just now. I hope it's still palatable.
아니요, 진짜 맛있어요.
Despite his reassurance, you look at the bowl of noodles in front of Artem skeptically. All the stories about how one must never criticize food made by their sweetheart coming to mind. Perhaps because your thoughts are written all over your face, Kimberly and Artem couldn't help but exchange a look before bursting into laughter.
정말 맛있어서 하는 말이에요. 걱정하지 말아요.
Kimberly also nods with a smile. Then she reaches over and pats Artem gently on the arm.
생일 축하한다, 은우야.
네, 감사해요, 어머니.
You and Kimberly accompany Artem as he finishes the noodles. After he is done, the two of you do a quick clean up of the table before coming back to chat with Kimberly.
아버지는 요즘 잘 지내세요?
안심해도 돼. 새로운 법안은 순조롭게 잘 추진되고 있으니까. 아버지 시간 나시면 가족끼리 또 모이자. 다 같이.
네,
Kimberly glances at the time. Noticing this, Artem pauses slightly, his lips involuntarily pressing together lightly.
요즘에도 바쁘세요?
그런 셈이지. 수도에서 갑자기 회의가 잡혀서 시간 내기가 힘드네. 덕분에 스케줄도 다 꼬이고 말이야. 어떻게 조율하긴 했는데
Kimberly heaves a small sigh.
원래 내 제자가 주최한 글로벌 세미나에 참석하기로 했는데 약속을 지킬 수 없게 됐어.
An international seminar, the one that will be held in Lombardia? The mention of Lombardia immediately brings back memories of when you and Artem last visited the place for a vacation.
그래, 맞아. 너도 들었구나?
You nod. This makes Kimberly lower her gaze and ponder. A few seconds later, she raps the table lightly. The dull sound of her knuckles rapping against the marble table rings loud and clear in the unusually quiet dining room.
아니면 너희가 대신 세미나에 참석해주겠니?
What? Us?
그래. 은우도 그쪽 변호사 협회랑 만난 적 있지? 이런 행사는 너한테 별로 어려운 것도 아닐 테고. 저명한 해외 변호사들도 이번 세미나에 참석할 테니 인맥 쌓는 데도 도움이 될 거야. 근데 네가 스케줄이 되려나 모르겠네.
저야 지금 맡은 사건들이 거의 마무리돼서 시간은 충분히 낼 수 있는데
No problem for me too.
그럼 가는 걸로 알고 나머지는 내가 준비해 줄게.
Thank you, Auntie. By the time Kimberly leaves, it's already late at night. After washing the car Kimberly is in, drive off, and eventually disappear at the end of the street, Arthur returns home with you. Knowing that he has work to finish up, you decide to wash up first. When you finally open the door to the study, you see Artem, who seems to have only just finished his work. Study.
다 씻었어요?
Pretty much. What about you? Have you finished everything you needed to do?
다 끝냈어요. 한동안 좀 쉴 수 있겠네요.
You walk toward Artem and loosely wrap your arms around his neck from behind. In response, he lifts his hand and pulls your arm, his thumb rubbing gently against your skin a couple of times.
세미나는 일주일 뒤고 앞뒤로 3일씩 당신 연차도 올려놨어요.
Ah, but it's your birthday the day after the seminar. If we attend the seminar first and only return to Salis to celebrate his birthday after, the day will be over by then. But I want Artem's birthday to be a special occasion. An idea comes into your head and you tap Artem on the shoulder to get his attention. He leans back slightly and turns his head sideways to look at you. Why don't we celebrate your birthday in Lombardia and extend our stay while we're at it?
미룬다고요?
Yeah, we visited a number of places the last time we were there, didn't we? We can take this opportunity to visit those places again for old time's sake. What do you think?
벌써 계획이라도 세운 거예요?
Well, I'm still fleshing out the details, but I do have something in mind already. I want to make your birthday a memorable one.
좋아요. 기대하고 있을게요.
Bedroom. Now that the travel itinerary is confirmed, your departure date has been brought forward to 2 days later. The next day, you make use of your day off to draft the travel plans while Artem uses his to pack for the trip.
저번처럼 당신 생활용품은 따로 담아놨어요.
Got it. Thanks. On the tablet screen, you can see a packing list for the two of you for the upcoming trip. Looking at it, however, practically everything listed on it is yours. Is this all you're bringing?
네, 이거면 충분해요.
That one too. You take the tablet from Artem and start to key in more things he will need, all the while mentally going through the travel guides you've just read.
무슨 옷을 이렇게 많이 챙겨요? 이건 좀
Not at all. A lot of events will be held in Lombardia during this period. These clothes are all meant to be worn in different occasions. You get up and walk over to the closet, pulling out an old costume that Artem has only ever worn in a play from one of the innermost corners. Let's bring this too. Artem's lip parts slightly as though he wants to say something, but in the end he merely lets out an almost inaudible sigh and shakes his head indulgently.
알겠어요. 당신이 하자는 대로 할게요.
Hotel room. The day that you and Artem are due to depart for Lombardia soon arrives. After checking into a hotel in Lombardia, the two of you decide to take some time to recharge. All that traveling in the day has tired Artem out, and he is now resting on the couch with his eyes closed. You reach over and gently neaten his messy bangs. Your touch makes him open his eyes, and he catches hold of your wrist.
왜 그래요?
Come decide on tomorrow's plan with me. As you speak, you bring out a paper box for drawing lots from behind you and present it to Artem.
방에 도착하자마자 이거 준비한 거예요?
You tap the paper box lightly and gives him a cheeky wink. A pretty novel idea, don't you think? This will decide our first stop for tomorrow.
어쩐지 롬바르디아 도시에서 출발하자고 하더니 여기선 어디든 편하게 갈 수 있어서 그런 거죠?
Mm-hmm. You give Artem's elbow a nudge. At your urging, he reaches into the paper box.
어디 보자.
You lean over and watch Artem smooth out the weight of paper, revealing two words on its crumpled surface.
플랜러 궁전이네요.
Nodding, you take the slip of paper from him and put it away. We have our first stop now. It's about time that we head over to Florence Palace for the flower show. I'll pick out an outfit for Artem.
지난번에 여기 왔을 때도 이 옷이었는데 이번 여정을 시작하는데 딱 좋네요.
Florence Palace. A flower festival celebration seems to be ongoing by the time you arrive at Florence Palace. The place is decorated with posies and blossoms for the flower show. To keep in line with the theme, all artworks on display within the exhibition hall feature flowers, save for a sculpture in the center of the space. This is Flora, the goddess of flowers.
네, 아마 현존하는 가장 큰 플로라 조각상일 거예요.
We missed the flower festival back then, so it's a good thing we made it in time today.
플랜너 궁전에서 이번 플로랄리아를 위해 펜트하우스에 온실을 지어서 관광객이 꽃을 감상할 수 있게 해놨대요. 가서 구경할래요?
Sure. Floral Greenhouse. After a brief tour around the exhibition hall, you and Artem head straight to the floral greenhouse on the top floor. Most of the tourists are either wearing floral crowns or holding onto flower bouquets. Now that you're here, the floral greenhouse does feel a lot more festive than the exhibition hall.
두 분도 화관 만들기 체험해 보시겠어요?
Do we get to make a floral crown?
네. 여기 계신 분들이 쓰고 있는 화관은 다 여기서 만든 거예요. 물론 다른 모양으로도 만들 수 있고 도구도 빌려드려요.
The event staff's earnest plug for the activity has undeniably piqued your interest. Artem reads your expression like a book, and a knowing smile spreads across his face.
플로랄리아 기간에 꽃으로 장식해 플로라의 축복을 받는다라. 온 김에 이곳 풍습을 경험해보는 것도 좋지 않겠어요?
Okay,
그럼 이쪽으로 오세요. 꽃은 왼쪽에 있고 도구는 오른쪽에 있으니까 편하게 이용하세요.
looking in the direction the event staff pointed you in, you see all kinds of flowers neatly arranged into different buckets. A small crowd is gathered before the floral selection, picking out their blossom of choice. Looks like this is one popular activity.
플로라의 축복 같은 전통은 사람 마음을 흔들기 쉬운 법이니까요.
Why don't you go get the tools and materials while I pick out the flowers? We can start sooner that way. Artem glances at the jostling crowd within sight and nods in agreement.
알겠어요.
Artem blends into the crowd not long after the two of you part, and you soon lose him among the sea of people. Finally alone. The idea of surprising Artem with lilies has taken root in your mind the minute your eyes fall upon them, so you naturally make a beeline for the lily bucket. You may have been a lily boutonniere of sorts on his shirt back in the capital, but you didn't get to give him the bouquet you bought. Soon you finish picking out flowers for your floral crown, taking care to hide the lilies among the other flowers so Artem won't notice them. That will do. Artem promptly returns with the tools and materials, and you settle down in a spot away from the crowd to start working on your floral crown. Judging from the wreathed beads Artem brought back, it looks like he's planning to make the simplest floral crown. Noticing your gaze, Artem awkwardly fiddles with the circular object.
그게 간단한 걸 만들면 실수할 확률이 낮겠구나 싶어서요.
Looks like even Mr. Wing shies away from challenges. You tug at Artem's arm in jest, not expecting him to nod in admission.
축제 즐기는 거잖아요. 당신도 꽃의 여신으로부터 축복을 받았으면 좋겠어요.
Alright, let's make a floral crown. I like them too. But as luck would have it, even a simple floral crown proves to be too much of a challenge for you. Shouldn't we be weaving the stems through here?
이론상으론 그런데 그렇게 하면 두 꽃이 엉키게 돼요.
Maybe we can move one a little more to the side.
잠깐, 그러면 나뭇가지가
Something snaps before Artem can finish his sentence, and you notice a small crack spreading across the wreathed beast in your hands. Releasing your grip on the flower, you ruefully look to Artem for help. How did that happen?
괜찮아요. 살짝 금 간 것뿐인데요. 다시 한번 해볼까요?
Okay. After fumbling around with the flowers for a while, you and Artem finally finish weaving your floral crown. You bend forward slightly and Artem gently places the floral crown on your head before tucking a lock of hair behind your ear.
예쁘네요. 플로라가 이 모습을 보면 못 참고 축복 내려줄 것 같은데요.
You present the lilies that you had previously hidden to Artem as he looks up, earning a fleeting look of surprise from him. You'll be blessed too, Artem. Reaching past the flowers, Artem takes your hands and pulls you toward him instead. Though the lily blossoms now block out a good half of Artem's face, you vaguely catch a glimpse of a smile forming on his face.
이미 받은 것 같은데요.
Looks like I've misjudged my workload. I'll need to catch up on some work while we're here. I guess I'll finish it up during the break. Even though the Lombardia itinerary has been finalized, I just can't shake off the feeling that it's still missing that finishing touch. I must come up with more mementos that we can use to remember this trip by. Oh, I know! I can capture the memories in a drawing and give it to Artem after the trip. I think he'll love it. I already bought the dessert you wanted. I'll bring it back for you in a bit. Oh, I just saw an ad for a film festival. They are rescreening several old movies in the time leading up to the festival. Even though we're going to miss the opening night of the film festival, this could be a good opportunity to revisit some classic movies. Since we're going to Delhi later, would you like to watch a movie together? Wait, we're going to miss the film festival? If it's pretty close, we should be able to adjust our trip for a bit. Well, we'll already be back home by the time it starts, but it's alright. Of the movies that are being rescreened, Wilderness at Night is a good choice. Even though we can't experience the unique film festival atmosphere, we can revisit this movie together. Then let's watch Wilderness at Night together. Alright, I'll book the tickets when I get back.
이 옷은 편해서 가벼운 실내 활동에 적합할 것 같아요.
Teacher. When the film closes with a melancholy soundtrack, you lean your head back and recline into your seat, having a long sigh. The Delhi Teacher is showing a rerun of Wilderness at Night, a classic from the 1980s. You managed to buy tickets for the last showing tonight. You knew you were going to watch a film with an open-ended plot, but you cannot help feeling this sense of emptiness after the final scene fades to black. All those years of investigation, only for the protagonist to give up at the last minute?
당신도 아쉽다고 생각해요?
The end credits begin to roll, and you space out watching the names of cast members fly past the screen. Maybe, but yeah, I guess it would have been a cliched ending if the protagonist chose to face the truth instead. Hey Artem, didn't you write a review for this film before? Taken aback by the question, Artem runs through his memory before giving a slight nod.
맞아요. 근데 워낙 오래전 일이라서요. 그때 내 평론도 당신이랑 비슷했던 것 같아요.
Really?
아마 그때 평론에 적은 게 주인공의 비이성적인 방식은 결과적으로 아쉬움을 자아낸다. 이는 그 자신뿐만 아니라 관객에게도 해당된다 였을걸요?
You sound like you have a new take on the ending now. Artem reaches over the armrest and interlaces his fingers with yours. Noticing that your hands have gotten somewhat dry from the strong heating in the teacher, Artem reaches into your bag for a hand cream and massages some of it into the back of your hands.
그 영화 평론을 쓸 땐 당신이랑 함께한 이 모든 걸 경험하지 못했으니까요. 논리적으로만 허술한 결말을 지적했죠. 이전의 영화 평론들처럼 감정선상의 전개를 간과한 거예요.
In Wilderness at Night, the protagonist struggles to start his life afresh because he refuses to come to terms with his lover's death. But through the framing of various scenes, the audience can gather that his lover died of an accident, in turn revealing how the protagonist's fixation on the past has affected him. Upon hearing this, you glean an inkling of what Artem is trying to convey. The truth may not be revealed in the end, but if we were to consider the film's emotional arc, the protagonist did redeem himself.
그렇죠.
Artem pauses before lowering his gaze, a slight smile playing on his lips.
어쩌면 나도 이제 그런 감정이 생겨서 주인공을 좀 더 공감할 수 있게 된 걸지도 모르겠네요.
The credits finish rolling midway through your discussion of the film, and the teacher staff enter to clean the screening hall. As if on prompt, Artem gets up and pulls you to your feet.
일단 나가죠.
Outside the teacher. It is already dark when you step out of the teacher, and the crowd has long thinned out following the end of the screening. You soon find yourself attracted by the recreation of a set of a short distance away. Isn't that the set from a classic scene in Wilderness at Night?
제 상영에 맞춰서 이벤트를 준비했나 보네요. 가서 구경해요.
Perhaps because the event is coming to an end, you do not have to wait long before reaching the front of the line. Seeing you approach, the staff member waves her camera enthusiastically at you and gestures to the props nearby.
황량한 밤 상영 50주년을 맞이해서 딜리 영화관에서 개최하는 필름의 기억 이벤트입니다. 두 분도 참여하시겠어요?
For Memento,
네, 소품을 착용하고 영화 속의 명장면을 재현하실 수 있습니다. 촬영한 필름은 기념품으로 제작하여 여러분께 드립니다.
the staff member reaches into a nearby cardboard box and retrieves a sample from Memento to illustrate her point.
이렇게요.
Artem looks at the props hesitantly for several moments before giving in to his interest.
한번 해볼래요?
Sure, this looks like a sight from the scene where the protagonist takes on a disguise to throw the police off his scent.
어느 캐릭터 연기할래요?
Being one of the more light-hearted scenes in the film, the protagonist completes his disguise in a somewhat absurd but comical manner. The police officer, on the other hand, remains in line with existing stereotypes of the role. Glancing at the staff member's camera, you figure Artem is likely to feel uneasy about being photographed. Coming to that decision, you reach toward the protagonist's prop. Before you reach them though, Artem drops your wrist.
난 신경 쓰지 않아도 돼요. 어느 캐릭터를 하든 나한텐 새로운 경험이니까 하고 싶은 걸로 골라요.
Upon hearing Artem's reassurance, you mischievously give in to the idea of a prank. This would be a chance to see him fluster outside his comfort zone. With that, you pick up the protagonist's head and plop it onto Artem's head. And if I say I want to see you roleplay the protagonist? Already anticipating your response, Artem reaches for the police badge and pins each over your chest.
그럼요.
You pick up and wear the protagonist's head, getting into character as you wink dramatically at Artem. Be the protagonist. This is a challenging role after all. Artem adjusts your head while you reach for the police badge and pin each over his chest.
그럼 내가 경찰할게요.
After ensuring both of you look the part, you and Artem take your places before the set and pose for the camera. The staff member searches for the right angle with her camera for a moment before lowering it again.
저기,
표정을 좀 더 과장되게 지어주시겠어요?
Autumn hesitates for a moment, then looks away awkwardly. In the soft glow of the evening light, you catch a glimpse of a faint blush coloring his cheeks.
최대한 해볼게요.
자, 찍겠습니다. 하나, 둘, 셋.
As the camera flash goes off repeatedly, you steal a glance at Artem. His expression, though not what most people would consider dramatic, it is far more animated than usual. You hold in your chuckles, but Artem notices your gaze and looks down towards you. The shutter clicks one final time, capturing the eye contact between you two that would be out of place in the film. From a distance, the staff member signals that you are done. Oh no, that last picture!
괜찮아요. 캐릭터 역할과는 맞지 않지만 우리 본연의 모습이 찍힌 거잖아요. 망토로 멋과 보온성을 다 챙길 수 있어서 밖에 나갈 때 좋겠어요.
James River. The boat you are in bobs gently up and down the water in the breeze. You perch against the side of the boat as you take in the picturesque scenery along the river. You pass the swan feet you bought on the shore to Artem. There are many swans on the James River too. If some of them came by, we can feed them.
저번에 백조 서식지 갔을 때 생각나서 그래요?
Yeah, we even saw black swans that day. You feed the black swans together then. You expected them to be more aloof, but once they got comfortable, they proved to be just as friendly as the white swans. As you look around, you notice a few white swans fluttering their wings as they approach your boat. They seem to only have white swans here. Artem pours a little feed into his palm. The swans instinctively swim toward the boat.
우선 이 친구들부터 먹여주자고요.
As soon as Artem opens his palm, a swan happily pecks at the food. A breeze rolls in. The swan stretches out its neck and shakes its head, while another quickly takes the opportunity to squeeze its beak into Artem's palm. Artem seems to find the swan's antics amusing. He chuckles softly. Feeding the swans is no longer on your mind. Instead, you take out your phone to capture this moment while Artem isn't paying attention.
왜 그래요?
Oh, I got sidetracked. Let me feed them too. Putting away your phone, you pour out some feed and extend your palm to the swans. More swans gather around the boat. The boatman sets down his oar to make it more convenient for you to feed them. The feed soon runs out, but not a single black swan has showed up.
뭘 그렇게 보고 있어요?
Nothing, I was just wondering if any black swans would suddenly turn up.
검은 백조가 보고 싶어서 그래요?
I don't have to, but I remember our last experience fondly, so I want to keep an eye out for them.
그렇구나.
Artem contemplates for a moment before he abruptly asks the boatman to turn the boat toward the shore. Huh? Where are we headed now?
금방 알게 될 거예요.
The boat stops near a small market. Artem leans out to chat with the shop owner, then sits back down with the crystal black swan. The black swan rests quietly in Artem's palm, sparkling as it catches the rays of the sun. It's so beautiful.
이제 검은 백조 봤네요. 그쵸?
Your mouth opens slightly in surprise as you look at the black swan that Artem seems to have magically conjured. How did you know they had them?
지나칠 때 보여서요. 이걸로 오늘 검은 백조를 못 본 아쉬움을 달래자고요.
Absolutely, I love it. You take the black swan from Artem and lift it up to eye level, examining it closely in the sunlight. Just then, you notice a fleeting shadow from the corner of your eye and turn to see a black swan that has suddenly appeared out of nowhere. As if drawn by your crystal, the black swan slowly approaches the boat. Wow! The black swan looks almost identical to the crystal one that you are holding. Your hand freezes in place as you don't want to startle it. Smiling, Autumn brings down your hand. He leans in closer to you as he offers the last handful of feed to the black swan.
오늘은 원하는 걸 다 이루었네요.
I already mailed the souvenirs we picked up at home. I'm on my way back to the hotel now. I just heard from a staff member that the Lombardia Theatre Festival has started. They're having a night at the teacher event over the next few days. A night at the teacher, is that some kind of theater hopping event? From what the employee said, it seems like there was more to it than just theater hopping, but he didn't spoil anything. He was being mysterious and said, "If you're curious, you'll have to check it out yourself." Then, before the sun went down, I saw a lot of people dressed up on the street. I think it's going to be really lively at night. I remember bringing our costume when we packed our luggage, right? I was hesitating whether or not to bring them back then. I didn't think they would actually come in handy. I thought you would want to go, so I already got all the info. Just leave the itinerary to me. Yeah, you really thought of everything. We can get ready together after you get back. Alright, I'll be there soon.
함께 산책할 때처럼 편안하게 입는 게 좋아요.
Old Town Post Office. Upon arriving at the Old Town Post Office, you are guided into the waiting room by the staff. What made you want to come here today? Lombardia's Old Town isn't known for being a tourist spot. This visit wasn't a part of the original plan.
전에 우편 통지를 받았거든요. 여기에 온 김에 구도심으로 오픈해달라고 했죠.
What did they send you?
기념품 같은 거일 거예요. 전에 국제 사건을 맡으면서 이쪽 변호사랑 협력한 적이 있는데 지금도 좋은 관계를 유지하고 있거든요. 마침 협회 기념일이라 기념품을 맞춤 제작해주겠다고 연락해 오더라고요. 근데 도안 보내고 나선 신경도 안 쓰고 있어서 기념품이 뭔지 아직 몰라요.
At that, a staff brings over a package and hands it to Autumn after verification. Autumn estimates the weight of the package with his hand. It doesn't look heavy. You look at him in anticipation, curious about what is inside.
지금 열어볼까요?
Sure. Inside the wrapping paper is a delicate gift box that contains a wax seal stamp. It is a beautiful crafted traditional European stamp inscribed with a fine line of text on the side. Looks like Lombardian. What does it mean? Autumn leans over and reads the text on the stamp in your hand.
정의가 항상 함께하길이에요.
It looks like lawyers around the world all share the same dream. You turn the stamp over and notice the unique pattern. It is both the sun and the moon. The sun combined with the moon, that's unique.
네, 이게 그 커스텀한 부분이거든요.
Artem places his finger on the stem and taps it twice subconsciously.
별로 고민하지 않고 이 도안으로 결정했어요.
Just like the sun and the moon moving separately yet attracting each other. As you mumble the meaning behind the design, you hear Artem's soft chuckle.
그 의미도 있긴 하지만 이 도안엔 다른 의미가 또 있어요. 난 우리가 정의를 추구하는 길에서도 합쳐진 태양과 달처럼 함께 나아갔으면 좋겠어요.
We will. Besides the stamp, the gift box also contains all the necessary tools to use it. Why don't we send a postcard back to Salis from here? You pick up the wax box and shake it gently. The wax beads softly rattle inside. We can seal the envelope with wax.
그래요. 뭐라고 적을까요?
We can write about how we feel at this moment. It should arrive around the time we get back to Salis. Receiving a letter from Lombardia at home sounds like a fun experience.
알겠어요.
After writing the postcard and sealing the envelope with wax, you and Artem drop it into the mailbox. By the way, did you write something extra at the bottom of the postcard?
좀 적긴 했죠.
Before you can ask further, Artem takes your hand and leads you outside.
자세한 건 집에 돌아가 편지 열어보면 알게 될 거예요. 지금은 궁금증을 남겨두자고요. 평소에 입기에는 과하지만 오늘 같은 날에는 딱 맞죠.
Street corner. You are stopped in a street corner as you straighten Artem's collar. Just a block away, the night of drama parade is in full swing. We just need to adjust the cloak a little and then we're ready.
무대복 입고 외출하는 게 생각보다 번거롭네요.
Following your lead, Artem tugs at the cloak, then adjusts his sword. As if stepping off from the stage, Artem's actions remind you of when you performed in Othello with him. Both of you were roped into the performance for the university's anniversary celebration, but you worked well together and ended up winning up the first prize for your law school. Looks like the result justifies the effort. As more and more tourists stream into the theater street, you and Artem blend naturally into the extravagantly dressed crowd. Artem surveys the bustling street. Then he turns to you with a smile and extends his hand in invitation.
갈까요?
Theater Street. Parades, drama performances, fireworks shows, activities unfold around you in a dizzying display of sights and sounds. You pull Artem along through the crowd, looking this way and that in an attempt to take it all in.
관광객이 연극 축제에 더 잘 녹아들 수 있도록 많은 배우가 관광객으로 변장해서 퍼레이드에 섞여들었다고 하더라고요. 근처 가게의 직원도 배우들이 분장한 걸 거예요. 가서 말 걸면 좋은 일이 있을지도 몰라요.
You scan the crowd, but with everyone in costumes, it's impossible to tell who might be an actor. It's hard to tell who we should talk to.
괜찮아요. 먼저 말 걸어올지도 모르잖아요.
Before Artem can finish, a figure suddenly darts over to you and presses a mask into your hands.
어서 베일로 그대의 얼굴을 가리세요. 오늘 밤은 그 누구도 당신의 진짜 모습을 보지 못하게요.
As the actor looks on earnestly, Autumn takes the mask from you and gently fits it over your face. Satisfied, the actor flutters their fan at you a couple of times and utters a few more lines before vanishing into the crowd. It is only then that you notice many other tourists sporting similar masks. It looks like we can get souvenirs by talking to actors.
계속 앞으로 가봐요. 또 뭔가 있을지도 모르잖아요.
You and Autumn stroll around Teacher Street for a while, but no other encounters come your way. I guess it's not so easy to find the other actors after all. At least we got a mask. Having worn it for some time, the mask has left a faint impression on the bridge of your nose. Autumn reaches over and removes the mask. When his fingers brushes across the mark, an idea comes to him, and he takes your hand.
이렇게 즐거운 축제에 어떻게 아름답고 고귀한 데스데모나 당신이 빠진단 말이오.
Autumn? You recognize the line from Othello. Is Autumn trying to fulfill your wish after seeing that you didn't run into any more actors? Summoning the line from a memory, you meet his gaze and respond, "My dear Othello, here I come." The sight of you and Autumn reciting lines from the play makes the two of you dissolve into laughter. A moment later, he shakes his head, breaking character and returning to his usual self.
아, 역시 난 이런 일에 안 맞나 봐요.
Still, it feels nice to play at something different once in a while, doesn't it? Especially on a night like this. As if to echo your words, fireworks go off in the distance, drawing your attention skyward. The fireworks show has started. The crowd springs into action, all jostling for a better view. Not to be outdone, you excitedly pull Artem to a good spot as well. But after you do, you realize that Artem isn't watching the fireworks. His eyes are on you. Is something the matter?
그냥요. 당신 말이 맞는 것 같아서요. 오늘 밤 같은 분위기엔 새로운 걸 시도해보는 것도 나쁘지 않으니까요.
Eh? But Artem doesn't reply. Instead, he leans in closer. Fireworks erupt overhead, painting his features in brilliant ephemeral hues.
이 별빛 아래서 제게 키스를 해주시오.
Artem quotes another line from the play, his own feelings taking the place of the sorrow that should have suffuses the light. In a corner where no one can see, you rise on tiptoes and press your lips to his. Autumn's calling. He must have finished getting everything we need for the seminar already.
세미나 출입증은 받았는데 추가로 기재해야 하는 정보가 있어서 시간이 좀 더 걸릴 것 같아요.
Do you need me to come over?
괜찮아요. 내가 대신 기재하면 돼요. 아, 회의 일정표를 확인해 봤는데 이번 세미나는 내용이 그리 많지 않더라고요. 회의 끝나고도 시간이 충분히 남을 것 같으니 켈로시 시내를 구경하면 되겠어요.
Sounds great. Considering Kyla's reputation as an Epicurean's paradise, I have a feeling that our exploration will lead us to a specialty restaurant. Autumn's soft chuckle comes through the phone.
가볼 만한 곳이 하나 더 있어요.
What is it?
켈로시 법원 박물관이요. 개관한 지는 얼마 안 됐지만 수집된 법률 자료는 볼 가치가 충분히 있다고 봐요. 이번 세미나가 켈로시에서 열린 것도 주최 측이 이곳 박물관에 대한 반응이 좋다고 생각해서일 정도니까요.
Let's stop by the museum tomorrow then.
그래요.
Artem pauses for a moment. You seem to hear someone calling out his name in the background.
내 차례인가 봐요. 저녁 시간 다 됐으니까 나오면 같이 저녁 먹어요.
Sure, I'll pick a restaurant in the meantime.
네, 이따가 봐요. 평소라면 어렵겠지만 특별한 날에는 역시 레트로 룩이죠.
Roddy Castle.
오셨군요. 두 분의 방을 준비해 두었습니다. 이쪽입니다.
As you step into Roddy Castle, you're greeted by a man in a suit with a simple old-world charm to it and accompanied by several staff members, just as you remember from your last visit. The butler takes your luggage and gestures for you to follow him. We got lucky. I thought we wouldn't be able to stay here this time, but someone canceled their reservation at the last minute.
그렇지만 두 분께서 저번에 묵으신 방은 이미 예약이 잡혔습니다. 두 분께 더 잘 어울리는 방을 준비해드렸으니 마음에 드셨으면 좋겠군요.
While speaking, he shows you and Artem to your room.
방에서 잠시 쉬고 계시거나 고성 주변을 자유롭게 둘러보시면 됩니다. 저녁 식사가 준비되면 제가 두 분께 알려드리겠습니다.
감사합니다.
별 말씀을요.
You and Artem have a short rest in the room. By the time you finish dinner, night have fallen. Instead of retiring to your room, you and Artem decide to take a stroll around the castle. Observation staircase. The seminar starts tomorrow. It's a shame that we only get to stay here for one day.
며칠 동안 바쁘게 움직였는데 이렇게 하룻밤이라도 편히 쉴 수 있으니까 좋네요.
Artem takes your hand and leads you up to the stairs to the French windows. The gentle moonlight illuminates Artem, draping him in a soft, shimmery glow.
여긴 로디 고성의 유명한 랜딩 전망대예요. 고성을 한눈에 볼 수 있을 뿐만 아니라 별을 보기에도 좋죠.
We didn't get to do that the last time because of the storm. It was such a pity. The power even went out that night. You can't help but smile as you recall that night when fear and unease denied you sleep. Even back then, just having you by my side made me feel safe.
좀 늦었지만 이제야 완벽해졌네요. 저기 봐요.
At Artem's urging, you look out the window to see a sky of stars stretching to the horizon and far beyond to the sea. You turn to look at Artem, only to be enthralled by the intense focus in his eyes. Mesmerized, you have snapped a photo of him before you know it.
뭐 찍은 거예요?
Seeing the inquiring look in Artem's eyes, you hand him your phone without a second word. Nice shot, isn't it?
네, 잘 찍혔네요. 여행하면서 계속 나 찍은 거예요?
Uh-huh. Wait, what? You lean over to see that the screen shows not just the newest photo, but a whole collection of pictures you've taken throughout the trip. You found me out. Actually, I have a special reason for taking these photos.
뭔데요?
Come with me. Castle room. You lead Artem back to the room. Rummaging through your luggage, you pull out a handmade leather-bound notebook and hand it to him.
이런 가죽 앨범은 제임스강 강가의 시장에서 본 거랑 똑같네요.
That's where I bought it. Open it and have a look. Autumn unties the red string around the cover and flips open the notebook. Inside are photos you've taken of him over the last few days, arranged chronologically according to the trip's itinerary.
여행 중에 내가 이렇게 보였어요?
That's right, I wanted to record our journey, you see. I considered a lot of options, but in the end, photos seemed to be the best and most straightforward way. The red string twists around Artem's fingers as he flips through the pages once more.
마음에 들어요. 근데 이 빨간 실은 당신이 묶은 거예요?
I did. Remember how you used a red string to chase away my unease before? That's why I picked a red string to link up the events of our trip here. Your fingers interlock with his, the red string woven between them. No more words are exchanged as the tranquil night slips by in peaceful silence, punctuated only by the soft rustle of pages.
격식을 차려야 하는 행사인 만큼 정장을 입는 게 좋겠죠.
Kylo's Courthouse Museum. On the way back after the seminar, you and Artem pay a visit to the Kylo's Courthouse Museum. The exhibits chronicle the development of Lombardian law, culminating in a holographic projection of the Code of Hammurabi at the end. You and Artem tour the museum, nearing the end in an area where there are only the two of you. Artem lets out a soft sigh.
어느 나라든 법률이 탄생한 이후에 완성해 나가는 과정이 길고 험난하네요.
Artem casts his eyes down. His expression brings to mind a conversation he once had with his father. Though he doesn't say it outright, you understand the underlying meaning of his words. You reach out and take his hand, feeling the familiar warmth of his palm. That's why your father is pushing for the new legislation, despite all the obstacles.
네, 우리가 초심을 지키는 이유이기도 하고요.
Nearby, a heated discussion draws your attention. Looking over, you notice some sort of event taking place at the holographic projection exhibit. Let's go and take a look. Holographic imaging area. The two of you head to the holographic projection exhibit. There, a sign reads, "A day in the life of a lawyer."
박물관이 대중에게 법률 지식을 알리기 위해 마련한 홀로그램 게임인가 보네요.
I wonder if being a lawyer in Lombardia is any different.
해보고 싶어요?
Definitely, we might not be familiar with the laws here, but that's exactly what the game is for. With the staff's help in putting on the equipment and adjusting the language settings, you and Artem starts the first round. After 15 minutes, you finish the first game. However, when you turn to check on Artem, you see that he is still engrossed in it. You gently remove your equipment and move next to Artem to watch him play.
이 선택지...
In the game, the player is presented with two options: question the parties involved and hire a private detective. Almost instinctively, Artem selects question the parties involved. Typical Artem. Even in the questions that follow, Artem continues to stay true to his characteristic word style in his choice. When the game ends, Artem takes off the equipment. I thought you would do things differently and explore other options since it's just a game.
나도 모르게 그랬네요. 변호사로서의 습관 때문이지 않을까요?
Certainly sounds like the Mr. Wing I know though. Realizing that you're teasing him, Artem gives you a wry smile. The game menu refreshes, signaling the start of a new game. Artem puts down the equipment and lets another visitor to take his place. Not going for another round?
됐어요. 다시 해도 똑같은 선택을 할 텐데요.
That's true. As lawyers, it's hard not to see our own experiences reflected in simulation games like this. You and Artem converse quietly by the wall, unnoticed by the people around you who are all focused on the game.
가끔은 나도 생각하곤 해요. 내가 다른 삶을 선택했다면 어떻게 살아갔을지. 근데 단 한 번도 변호사가 된 걸 후회한 적은 없어요. 그리고 그동안 내가 옳다고 생각하는 결정만 했고요. 그래서 난 굳이 게임 속에서 뭔가 변화를 준다거나 보상할 필요가 없었어요.
I know, Artem, you've been doing a great job all this time. Artem's powerful sentiments reflect the way he has always carried himself and the man everyone knows him as. His eyes are calm and gentle, yet they carry a bright resolve. Be it when he was still a rookie lawyer or after he has gained a legendary status in the industry, his gaze remains as clear and untarnished as ever. Much like a constant light, flickering through the shadows of the past and lighting up the future you have yet to know. After touring the Kylo's Courthouse Museum, you and Artem return to the hotel. With the trip nearly at its end, Artem's birthday is almost here. Hoping to create a joyous mood befitting a birthday celebration for Artem even when you two are far from home, you decide to bake him a birthday cake. The hotel agreed to your request to borrow their hardly used kitchenette, so you take the chance to sleep out in the middle of the night while Artem sounds asleep. After fiddling around in the kitchen for some time, you finally put together a simple cake. You think back to how Artem nearly stumbled upon the surprise when he stirred a week earlier, glad that you managed to cover it up. When you return to your room, moonlight shines through the floor-to-ceiling windows, its soft glow gracing the dark room and illuminating Artem on the couch. Artem, why is he sleeping on the couch? A leather scrapbook placed open on his knees, while souvenirs that you pick up during your trip are placed on the table. He probably grew sleepy before he could get through it. Artem has his back resting against the couch, sleeping soundly. You quietly tiptoe over to him, gazing up close at his sleeping face in the moonlight. His thick hair appears tousled, and his bangs fall messily over his face. Artem furrows his brow and leans further into the side of the couch, seemingly to find a more comfortable position. What is he dreaming of? Just as you're hesitating whether to wake Artem up, his eyes slowly flutter open.
왔어요.
You snuggle into his arms, stopping him from getting up. Artem then shifts slightly in his seat for you to nestle more comfortably against him. Why were you sleeping on this couch?
당신 기다리면서 사진 보고 있다가 잠들었나 봐요.
You feel Artem nuzzling against your hair.
요즘 너무 긴장이 풀렸나? 나도 모르게 그만.
I woke up in the middle of the night to prepare so that I could keep it a surprise for you, but you found out about it still.
그럼 모르는 척 해줄까요?
The thought of Artem earnestly trying to keep up his air of ignorance forms in your mind, amusing you briefly. No, it's okay. You'll come to know of the surprise anyway. Wanna take a guess?
케이크?
How did you know that? And on your first guess? You straighten up in surprise, though Artem merely responds with a smile in his eyes, twirling a lock of your hair around his fingers.
몸에서 밀가루랑 크림 냄새가 나서요.
So I unknowingly exposed myself to think I even arranged for the hotel staff to bring up your cake when we call for room service.
들킨 김에 지금 가져다 주는 건 어때요?
Huh? It is difficult to make out Artem's expression in the dark, but you can tell that he means what he just said.
12시 지났잖아요. 힘들게 다른 기회 찾는 것보다 지금 가져다 주는 게 낫지 않겠어요?
Alright then, I'll go get the cake.
같이 가요.
Returning to your room with the cake, you lead Artem onto the balcony. Nighttime tends to get somewhat chilly in Lombardia during this season. Artem goes back into the room for a blanket to drap over you. You use your hand to shield the cake from the gentle night breeze, and Artem strikes a match before lighting the candle. The dancing candle flame casts a quivering dim glow in the balcony, causing your shadows to also flicker along in synchrony. Waiting till the candle flame burns steadily, you bring the cake closer to Artem. It's time to make a wish.
난
The warm candlelight flickers in his eyes, and Artem moves his lips ever so slightly, though what you expect does not come. What's wrong?
딱히 소원이 없는 것 같아요. 처음부터 당신이랑 함께 오늘을 보내고 싶은 생각밖에 없었어요. 더도 덜도 말고 지금 이 모습만으로도 충분해요.
But birthdays only come once a year. How come you give up on making a wish? You mutter ruefully under your breath, only to see Artem sadly chuckling to himself in the glow of the candlelight.
알겠어요.
He clears his throat and leans forward before closing his eyes, as if silently making a wish. When he opens his eyes again, he moves his gaze away from the candles and looks right into your eyes instead.
이번 생일엔 특별한 경험을 해볼 기회가 있었으면 좋겠어요.
A new experience? Your gaze falls upon the cake and an idea pops into your head. This should be something no one has ever tried on Artem before. With that thought in mind, you pick up some cream with your fingers, scoot closer to Artem, then smear the cream on his cheek. A look of surprise crosses Artem's face when the thick, cloying cream comes into contact with his face. As though on reflex, he turns to look at your cream-laced finger.
당신
Does this count as a new experience? Artem pauses and you take the chance to smear more cream onto his face. The air around you fills with a cloyingly sweet scent of cream. Artem presses his lips and astonishment flashes across his countenance, now replaced by a smile.
얼굴에 크림 묻히는 건 처음이긴 하네요. 올해의 소원도 문제없이 이룬 것 같아요.
You prod at Artem's cheek with your finger, letting out a sigh of resignation. You know I'll do everything I can for you, no matter what it is you want.
왜 그렇게까지 내가 소원 비는 거에 집착하는 거예요?
Artem's unexpected question leaves you stunned. He keeps his gaze trained on you, silently waiting for your answer. Call it a spur of the moment idea. I guess I got reminded of the time we spent in the capital. But then I said I'll always be by your side, no matter what the future holds.
당연히 기억하죠.
Artem tilts his head to the side, his hair brushing past your fingers. He knows what you are trying to get at. You pause briefly to caress his face before continuing. So, while we're together, you should also have things you want or need from me, like relying on me or coming to me for help. You don't have to worry about showing me your weak side. I'll do everything I can to reciprocate your needs.
내가 소원을 빌길 바라는 것처럼요?
Yeah. Autumn picks up your hand and rubs his thumb along your wrist affectionately.
당신한테 바라는 게 없는 게 아니라 그 전에 당신이 다 채워줘서 그런 거예요. 내가 더 많은 걸 바라도 괜찮겠어요?
Of course, you can ask for anything. Autumn parsed his lips to say something, but a shooting star glides across the sky, beating him to it. You look up at the sky, enraptured by the sudden bright flash of light. Autumn, a shooting star! Did you see it? Confused by his lack of response, you turn toward Artem. Almost instantly, Autumn leans over the chair and moves closer to you, planting a kiss on your lips.
못 봤어요. 다행히 별똥별의 소원을 빌 필요는 없겠네요. 지금 이 순간만큼은 당신만 바라볼 수 있으면 되니까요.